This week, Hunter Biden's lawyer asked prosecutors to investigate how the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop went public. And then the lawyer said, no, wait, it wasn't Biden's laptop after all, which means Hunter Biden's lawyer wrote a letter about someone else's laptop. That sounds kind of confusing. Joining us to clear things up is former Director of National Intelligence and former federal prosecutor John Lee Ratcliffe. All right, Director, if the laptop doesn't belong to Hunter Biden, why is his lawyer asking for an investigation into who may have violated Hunter Biden's privacy rights with a laptop that wasn't his?
Well, I can't clear that up for you, Trey. Abby Lowell, Hunter Biden's lawyer, is very well known, but he clearly had a bad week. I mean, first admitting that this was Hunter Biden's laptop, then to walk it back and say it's not his laptop, but we still want a criminal investigation is, as you know, unfounded in the law and unfounded in common sense. But it actually gets worse for Hunter Biden's lawyer, and that's this issue was settled 840 days ago, back on October 18th of 2020. As you know, Trey, as the Director of National Intelligence, I put out a statement saying that the Biden laptop was not part of a Russian disinformation campaign. And that was based on conversations with then Attorney General Bill Barr and current FBI Director Christopher Wray, who, of course, had Hunter Biden's laptop, knew it was real, and there was an ongoing criminal investigation. So those are some pretty important witnesses that any investigation would have to get over. So, I don't think Perry Mason or Clarence Darrow could help out Hunter Biden on this one.
Yeah, well, speaking of Perry Mason and Clarence Darrow, you have the head of the National Intelligence and you have the head of the FBI saying it wasn't Russian disinformation, but you had Adam Schiff saying that it may be. All right, I want to go back to your old days on the House Judiciary Committee. They are asking for information about a memo promulgated by Merrick Garland that some people have read to be a threat against parents. You, when you were on House Judiciary, also tried to get information about a memo which became famous, which led to a press conference which became famous. Tell us why the House Judiciary may want the information surrounding the memo like you wanted it with Jim Comey.
Well, you're kind of giving me credit, Trey, but you and I were together back in July of 2016, July 2nd, precisely when Hillary Clinton gave testimony before the FBI and the Department of Justice. And then 3 days later, when FBI Director Jim Comey declined to prosecute Hillary Clinton purportedly based upon that testimony. And it was when you and I pressed for the origins of when that decision was made that we learned that Jim Comey had, in fact, written a memo clearing Hillary Clinton 2 months before he ever asked her a single question. So there's a precedent for this not just being appropriate, but prudent. So I'm glad the House Judiciary is now doing the same thing with respect to Merrick Garland, who has his own memo. And as you point out, that memo is one that was in response to a request by Biden's education secretary and the national school boards to go after parents utilizing the Patriot Act. And in his own words, Merrick Garland directed the FBI to use its resources to address what he characterized as a disturbing spike in violence against school board members and a rise in criminal conduct, quote unquote. And when that memo became public, as they often do, he had to walk that back and in his own words said there was, quote, no body of evidence, end quote, to support that. So again, this is appropriate for the House Judiciary Committee to, ask for receipts and check the Department of Justice and the FBI's homework because, again, there's not only a precedent for that, but more recently we've seen, here is an instance of the FBI prosecuting free speech of parents. We've had the recent Twitter disclosures of the FBI censoring all sorts of things, which is not what the premier law enforcement agency in the world is intended for.
Well, I think I'll speak for you, Director Ratcliffe. I hope the House Judiciary Committee does not have to wait as long for documents as we had to wait back in the day. Thank you for coming on, former federal prosecutor John Lee Ratcliffe, on a Sunday night. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.